David Cameron gave this speech at Easter time. He had invited Christian leaders, some Christian leaders, into Downing Street, and he was speaking to them and saying that they needed to be evangelistic, they needed to take the message of Christianity out across the highways and byways of Great Britain. He also wrote in the Church Times. I think we have to face the reality, though, about this. This comes less than a month after we saw in this nation the first same-sex marriages taking place. And when they were taking place, David Cameron was celebrating. The rainbow flag flew high across Whitehall. And this, of course, is a major blow. This is a major assault on the truth of Christianity, of what it really means to follow in Christ's way, in obedience to him, in biblical truth. So whilst saying something with his words, the actions have been to dismantle God's first building block for a society, which is a marriage as between one man and one woman, committed, and to have children within that construct, committed, that man and woman, for life. So to actually rip the heart out of what it means to really reflect God's plan, God's purpose, God's commitment, and to do that with such evangelism as he did. It was a policy that he very much owned from his October conference speech in 2011, saying, I'm going to redefine marriage, not despite being a conservative, but because I'm a conservative, and then was absolutely intent upon doing it. It also comes in a week, let me say, when his government sent a letter to Europe, to parliamentarians in Brussels, to say that the European Citizens Initiative, which we at Christian Concern have been part of, which seeks to protect the embryo, protect the unborn child from experimentation, seeks to accord personhood to the unborn child. In this very week, his government has submitted a letter to parliamentarians in Brussels to say that this sort of legislation would be extremely damaging to family planning programmes in Africa. Now, that is disingenuous. That is absolutely wrong. It misleads the African nations. It misleads and threatens them with regard to aid. And it does nothing in terms of seeking and speaking up for the dignity of the unborn child. It was David Cameron's government in our European cases that actually submitted at the European Court level in Strasbourg, the European Court of Human Rights, submitted that the cross was not a Christian symbol, submitted that belief in marriage between a man and a woman, belief in purity, in sexual ethics, was not a manifestation of faith. Submitted, this is in legal documents, that your freedom to believe Christianity was your freedom to resign if you held those kind of beliefs. Your freedom to resign is no freedom at all. But all of this is in black and white. All of this comes from the highest documents, the highest political and legal documents submitted by the government. And David Cameron is in charge of his government. So I am pleased for the recognition that Christianity is who we are. But actually what his government has done is to rip that all apart. And we can't have Christianity confined to David Cameron's politics, sort of big society, big society type politics, saying Christians deliver the big society. He wants us to deliver the big society without the big story, which is Jesus Christ, without obedience to the big story, which is Jesus Christ, without the overarching narrative.